A Nintendo Switch Pro seems like something that almost every Nintendo fan wants at this point. But what hardware and features could a Switch revision bring to the table? And how could Nintendo compete with Sony's PS5 and Microsoft's Xbox Series X? Hey, it's DJ Mario Bros, and let's get into upgrades and features a Switch Pro could have. In the comments of my last Switch Pro video, a lot of you were saying that Nvidia could provide Nintendo with the option for 4K graphics in a Switch Pro, but I think that Pfeiffer put it best. I'd say 4K for a possible Switch successor. They need to make the jump to next gen seem like a major change, but if you make the Pro version too powerful, you won't be able to notice a huge jump. Everything about his comment makes sense, so since 4K is largely out of the Switch Pro's reach, Nintendo should settle for 1080p graphics and run games at 60 frames per second. Now that the 4K conversation is out of the way, let's get into the things both the community and I want to see from Nintendo concerning the Switch Pro, starting with the 2021 release date. This last winter, Nintendo confirmed that there wouldn't be a Switch revision coming in 2020, and I think that this totally makes sense, because you have to take into consideration that Nintendo released the Switch Lite last September, which really wasn't that long ago. So if Nintendo releases the Switch Pro Holiday 2021, then Nintendo would have that entire holiday season to themselves, since as of July 2020, there have been no big releases confirmed for Holiday 2021, besides that Spider-Man 2 leak a few months back. So next year, Nintendo could reign supreme with the Switch Pro. And if they release it in 2021, then Nintendo would follow a pattern of releasing a Switch revision every 2 years. The original in 2017, the Switch Lite in 2019, and the Switch Pro in 2021. Talk about a Nintendo Switch Pro Pro controller, if that makes sense. Things that would carry over to this controller from the original Pro controller would be HD Rumble, the option for motion controls, the NFC reader, and all of the existing buttons. A new feature that we could see on this new and improved controller is a headphone jack on the bottom of the controller. Because good God, Nintendo! Okay, let's say you're playing Breath of the Wild on your couch, which is sitting around 6 to 8 feet or 1.8 to 2.4 meters away from your TV, and presumably your Switch as well, and you want to listen to your game with your new Turtle Beach headset. Innocent enough, right? But who in the fresh nether from Minecraft has a headphone cord that is 6 feet or 1.8 meters long? I mean, it makes sense if you're playing in handheld or tabletop mode, but for most people, you would have to sit incredibly close to your TV, which would become at least mildly uncomfortable after a long play session. I mean, the Wii U had a headphone jack on the gamepad, even if it was mostly because you could play games with the gamepad only, but still. Okay, that went on for a bit, but now that we're through with that Black Friday checkout line, let's talk about some new buttons that could be added to the controller. Buttons! Things all humans like to push, and when you do push them, they can drive someone into insanity or control a video game. With the current Pro controller for the Switch, there are some buttons that could either be added or replaced with a better, more intuitive button. I'm looking at you, Capture Button. But there's nothing inherently wrong with it or what it does, but I think that it could be improved, but we'll come back to that in a little bit. For a new button on the Nintendo Switch Pro controller made for pros, how about we slap a little thing called a power button? Now I know this doesn't bother everyone, but when I want to turn off my system after I'm done playing a game, I don't want to get up and go to the system. I just want to get up and leave or do something else. That's why a power button on the controller would make for a faster power on and power off, and would also be less of an inconvenience. Now for a better capture system. This is why I wanted to save talking about a new capture button for later. If you look at the PS5 controller and the PS5 in general, Sony went for the streaming video sharing setup for their system. They have headphones, an HD camera, and a share button on the controller, which makes it easier to share videos and clips to YouTube and other platforms. Nintendo could do something similar with a share button, but I guess they could still call it the capture button or change the name to a record button, so you can record right on the spot rather than recording the last 30 seconds of gameplay at a slower frame rate. And the current capture system works fine, but it's nothing compared to what Nintendo could do with a Switch Pro or a Switch successor. Nintendo may also be able to provide their own video sharing network, similar to Miiverse, but improve it a whole lot, and possibly not censor it as much since a lot of people didn't like that. And since YouTube is available on the Switch, there could even be an option to upload videos directly from your Switch, along with the video editing software built in with the Switch Pro. But this is reaching pretty heavy speculation here, so I'm going to leave it at that. But why pick Nintendo over Sony or Microsoft? Well, I personally love all three companies, but the reason why I mainly stick with Nintendo is because no matter the graphics or RAM or storage, they always have brought fun and memorable experiences with amazing games on each of their systems. So what new features would you guys like to see in a Switch revision? If you'd like to, then leave your thoughts down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!